Awesome.
I joined a ska band when I was 15.
Of course you
So
did.
I played trumpet in a ska band. It was called Dinosaur Roar. It's pretty cool band name.
Yeah.
And we played like 3 shows, and it's not good. Like then I was like, I want to sing, and I was like, can I sing maybe backup vocals or harmonies? And they were like, no, we already have our singer. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just keep playing trumpet. Hey everyone, my name is Lauren Babic, and you are listening to the Chronicles of Podcast with Tom and Jamie.
Hello, world. Wednesday 13 here.
Hey, this is Tom Stain.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ronnie Ledrew.
Yes, my friends, my name's John Mahon.
What's going on, everybody? It's Tom.
And it's Jamie. Welcome to the Chronicles of Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, theys and thems, this week we are joined by an incredible singer who you may have seen covering your favourite songs from Last Resort to Pink Pony Club. So if you're sat there thinking, I'm bored, then sit with us as we bring you Sanctuary, as you breathe us in, and we bring you the Chronicles of Lauren Babic.
I'm so sorry.
I love that so much.
Yes.
I love it. That is the most creative anyone's ever been with any intro, so
Yes!
Really? Wow.
That's going on the CV.
love it.
Perfect. Before we get really into the juicy parts, Lauren, how's your Wednesday been?
It's as good as a Wednesday can be, which is I've had my caffeine and we're ready to go. Like, that's it.
Perfect. Nice. Ease you into the day a little bit here. Yeah.
I love it. So, Lauren, how we like to start these things is we like to take things right back to the early days. Young little Miss Babic, you could say. What did you want to be when you were growing up? Has it always been music for you, or was it something completely different, like chef? I don't know.
I think secretly I always wanted to be a musician because I started in like music lessons when I was like as young as 2 years old.
Wow.
But my parents were very like academic focused. I can't like both my parents are teachers, now retired. So they were always like, you have to go to school and you have to get like a real people job. So I was like, okay, I guess I'll be a teacher because I'm also, it's definitely a vocation of mine. Like I'm good at teaching and I love sharing knowledge with people. So I actually went to university and I have a teaching degree as well. So I have those things. So I went through university, did my Bachelor of Education as well. But throughout college and all that, I was in bands and I was playing live. So I was kind of, my heart was split into two. So I always wanted to be a musician at my core, but I felt very pressured to do more traditional career things during all that. So there's a lot of proving grounds as I was growing up.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
where did the initial road into music actually begin then? You said you were starting lessons from 2 years old, but like, how did you know that this is what you actually want to do? Yeah.
I think, well, I did piano lessons kind of when I was 5 years old, all the way up till maybe 12. And I hated how rigid it was. I hated how I was playing. I love classical music, but I didn't want to play that. I wanted to make my own. And I quit. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And then when I got to high school, I started listening to a lot of like emo bands like Under Oath and My Chemical Romance and The Used. And I think that's really when I latched to sort of heavy music and rock music. And I was like, I want to do that in some way, shape, or form. I didn't know it was going to be vocals. I wasn't singing at that point. So, in high school, I was in the school band. I played trumpet, and
Awesome.
I joined a ska band when I was 15.
Of course you
So
did.
I played trumpet in a ska band. It was called Dinosaur Roar.
Oh.
And it's pretty cool band name.
Yeah.
And we played like 3 shows, and it's not good. Like kids stuff. And I was like, I want to sing. And I was like, can I sing maybe backup vocals or harmonies? And they were like, no, we already have our singer. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll just keep playing trumpet. So at that point in time, I would like start to sing when I was alone in my room after school, before school, and no one was home. I was very shy to sing in front of anybody. And I was like, okay, I think I can sing a little bit. And it wasn't really until freshman year when MySpace was still a thing at that time, and I was like, I want to join a band. I want to join a heavy band, and I'm gonna sing. I was like, I want to sing. So I saw this advertisement, metal band seeking female vocalist, and there was an open audition, MySpace classified ad. So I went, showed up. There was like 3 people there, and at that audition, it was my first time ever singing or screaming in front of anybody else. And that band was Red Handed Denial. And I am still in Red Handed Denial to this day. And that audition was the very first time I ever did vocals in front of anybody else.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool story. And I was 17, and pretty much me being in Red Handed Denial was me learning how to sing and scream. It was like just jumping right in, doing shows, blowing my voice out, recording, blowing my voice out, learning all those things while being in the band. And it's been a freaking journey, a vocal journey.
That's all. So were you like, I can sing, I should go do this? Or were you just like, I enjoy this, I'm going to go do it?
I think a little bit of both. I was like, I want to do this. I want to be in this scene. And I was like, I think I can hold a note or two. And then in like 2008, we recorded our EP called Eyes in Liquid Skies, and it's on Spotify. No one listens to that. No one. It's like very much a Lauren Babic deep cut, but those are the first songs I ever recorded. And I sound like a baby on them. And you could tell like my voice didn't really come into its own yet. So yeah, it was just me learning how to do it while being in that band and playing live.
So have you had? Oh, sorry.
No, go on.
I was going to say, have you had singing lessons, or is this all like self-taught, raw, natural talent?
Everything was self-taught, pretty much up until quite recently, like pretty much post-pandemic. Like during the pandemic, I was just a little bit before the pandemic, I was going through a little bit of like, maybe like I feel like every vocalist has a period of time where they're going through a little bit of a bump in the road with their voice. So I was like, what am I doing wrong? And I sought out some vocal coaches, and it was really only during like 2020 and 2021 that I really decided to be like, okay, maybe I should start learning about my voice. And thankfully there was no damage. Like I was doing it pretty well, and I've had many a camera down my throat, and thankfully I was doing something right. But yeah, I've been pretty much self-taught up until the pandemic.
That's crazy because your vocals are ridiculous.
Thank you.
They are actually.
It's a wild story. It's a little bit of a wild story. Yeah.
Yeah, like that the range, the Chester Bennington video that I've watched recently of the Giving Up Scream is just like, what the fuck? Like it's unbelievable. Yeah. I can't quite describe. I'm not just saying it's because you're here. Well, I am, but I'm not at the same time. But it's insane to me, like how you can just be like, you make it look effortless.
I think making it look effortless now is 15 years of me messing up a lot. And I still mess up a lot. Like that, quickly just talking about that cover, I did that cover because I had a microphone in my studio that I had to demo. So I was like, I have this microphone. What am I going to do to demo this microphone? So I had an instrumental of Giving Up, and I was like, but can I even do this scream? I had never tried it. Like, I don't really hold, like, I don't just like decide like, I'm going to hold this scream for 17, 20 seconds. So when I was like, before I even finished that cover, I was like, I need to make sure I can actually do that. So I think it took me like maybe like 5 tries to just like determine like where to put like the placement. And then the first time I did the whole thing, I it wasn't on camera, and I was like, oh shit. Like I did that and I didn't even get footage of it. So I will say that scream and coming out of that scream to be able to like sing again is very difficult. And I can totally understand how even Chester like live didn't hit it every time. And he had to take the breath halfway through. And it's all about the placement, man. It's not easy. It is very hard.
It's funny, like piggybacking on what Tom said, I was doing writing my notes and it literally says screaming, and I couldn't think of any words and just wrote chef's kiss. Because it is you like Tom was just saying, your screaming is absolutely fucking incredible. Like,
Thank you.
yeah, amazing. So what was it that made you go from I'm enjoying this, like high school band sort of thing, to I want to do this for a living? I want to put my focus into this.
I think with anything I do, as soon as I hyperfixate on something, I want to go all in. And I think for a very long time, like through university and through having a teaching job, um, I always wanted to do it full time, but I didn't really I wasn't financially able to do that. And it wasn't really until like I didn't go full time with music until like 2019. And I was doing tours and I was doing records and I was doing YouTube all through like the 2010s. Uh and music was not my full-time job. YouTube was not my full-time job. So I was kind of leading this double life of like a professional teacher life versus like trying to do metal and rock. And I didn't go full time till 2019. And it was like a very scary moment because it's like, oh my God, am I going to be able to pay my rent? Am I going to be able to eat and put food on my own table? And I think like with the pandemic, despite it like sort of killing the live music industry for like 3 years, it sort of was able to jumpstart my solo career with with my cover of Lovely and Toxic and the few collaborations like on our cover of Chop Suey and like Toxicity. And I think like the pandemic, I got very lucky and very fortunate during that time that I was able to find success in my cover recordings. And ever since then, like I've been able to sort of like snowball from that and keep garnering people and keep making music with the audience that I got from that time. So it was scary. It was very scary to do. But I knew I always wanted to do it. It's just actually doing it took a while.
But I bet you wouldn't look back now, eh?
Sorry?
I bet you wouldn't look back now at all.
No, I couldn't imagine like doing a get up at 6 in the morning and come home at 5. Like I don't think I could ever do that ever again because I'm so used to being my own boss and now having so many outlets within this crazy life, like also like having a vocal course and doing vocals for video games and like I never thought that like this would become so much more than just like play live, make songs. Like it's been crazy. I would never look back.
But it's because like COVID was like a really horrendously horrible time for a lot of people, but it was also kind of a weird moment where people were like, oh, I can relax, I can chill, I can recharge, or for yourself, I can now build my brand. Here I am, sort of thing.
Yeah, it was super. I feel like it was so introspective too for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And for me, it was kind of like an identity crisis, but also I established who I am and I accepted who I was because like in 2020, and I've said this in like other podcasts and interviews, but like during 2020, my band Red Handed Denial had the whole year lined up with tours. And all of a sudden that was done. No. And so it's been this very um I was torn for so long because I wanted the band to have that success that I found during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when that was kind of stripped away from the band, there was a while where I was like, "Oh, but if I do my solo stuff full time, I'm betraying my friends and I am like my heart is still in that place." And over time I learned like I can do all of it. And there is a place for Red-Handed Denial and there is a place for Crazy 88 in this like crazy like Lauren Babic universe or whatever. Like there is a place for everything and that came with a lot of crying, a lot of coming to terms, uh a lot of acceptance and the boys in Red-Handed are like my best friends and uh they've been super supportive through all of it and we've all found our own path like Chris is doing full-time producing now
Wow.
And Dom and Tyson have really found like their vocation in non-musical things and it's like life happens so it the pandemic was just so huge for me in a lot of different ways.
Did you
Bless you,
say
Lauren. I just
I know. It's emotional. It's a very emotional and uh it's still like there's a very special place in my heart for the Red-Handed fans because they know I've been in this band for like 15 probably 17 years now and
Damn.
that's how I grew. Like that's how I learned how to sing. So it like Red-Handed will always be my baby kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So did you say that you planned to do solo stuff before the pandemic, or it sort of forced your
No,
hand? No.
it forced my hand. And it was because we were all in 2020 for Red-Handed. It was like 2020 in January. We had a West Coast tour. We with a Japanese band that came over. We did like a support tour with them, and we had April all lined up with Hollow Front, which is like a very well known metalcore band in the United States, and we had tours in like September and October. It was a full year
Oh,
because we literally signed a 2 album record deal with an indie company with an indie label and um 2020 was like our year. It was going to be Red-Handed's year and then it was just like nope, you can't have that. So it was wild. It was a very very uh weird pivot that I had to make. And it was a long time of like wishing and wishing things were different and but sometimes it's just the way the cookie crumbles
Yeah.
and I never intended to like go full steam ahead with solo stuff, but it's just how it happened. So here I am.
But obviously, this year you've done some incredible things, and we're barely into the year. Like you've just appeared on the latest Saliva album, and that
Yeah,
song
that
is
was wild.
phenomenal.
Thank you. I did not even know that that was going to happen because I have a really good working relationship with the Howard Benson team and judge and jury, and I had done the Dead Rabbits feature with like Craig Mabbitt, and that was really good. And uh, then they're just like, "Hey, want to just be on the Saliva album and do like a re-record of High on Me?" And I was like, "Yeah, like why wouldn't I?" And I'm not really in the hard rock sphere. Like I'm more in like the metalcore and like pop kind of place. And I was like, hell yeah, let's rip on a hard rock song. Saliva's like a legacy band. So that was super sick and really unexpected.
Not gonna lie,
And
made me feel
Bobby's
really
like,
old then.
it's fine. I mean, Bobby's an insane vocalist. Like crazy. So I was just like, hell yeah, let's do this. It's super cool.
It's so good. Like I was listening to it earlier, and I was like, "This is so damn good." It's like, but yeah, you've made me feel really old calling Saliva a legacy band. I remember when the first album came out.
Like Click Click Boom is iconic. So like how can we, how could I ever say no to something like that?
yeah, exactly.
And you also got to play at the Whiskey with Sophie Lloyd as well. Like, what an incredible
Yeah.
time!
And that, yeah, that's a whole other like side of things, being able to tap into like my classic rock vibes. And Sophie is just so wonderful. Like she is just an absolute sweetheart. And um, singing on her album was talk about imposter syndrome, like being on an album with like Matt Heafy and Lizzie Hale, like, and then her asking me to be the main vocalist on her first US show ever. I was like, okay, well, this isn't real. Sure. I'll just sing the songs of like iconic vocalists. No big deal. Like, as I'm, you know, shaking in a corner, just like, oh my God. And her and her team were just like so amazing. And I was just like, hey guys, like, I know I have to sing a Lizzie Hale song, but like, is it okay if I like scream some of it? And they're like, yeah, we want you to make it your own. Like, you're not like, you're Lauren Babic. You don't have to like sing exactly like Lizzie Hale. And I was like, okay, I know this is the right fit. And they've done such like a really good job making me feel welcome and part of like that hard rock and classic rock crew. And I was like, this is super cool. So it's been a wild like 2025, and we're only barely out of March, so it's like crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. And then like your cover of Pink Pony Club just explodes to like, what was it, over 1 million streams on Spotify now? Like I was going through and I was like, this is like the greatest year ever.
It's insane. Like it's so hard to like real like kind of be present and not constantly like, okay, what are we doing next? What are we doing next? Like
Yeah.
I've kind of taken a little bit of like a moment to like be present and really appreciate like the things that have happened this year, but also just in general, like it's a lot. Like I've done a lot of things, and it's I just every day I'm just like, I'm just happy to be here, and I feel like really fortunate that every day I can wake up and continue to do it. So it's just still quite unbelievable that these things happen. you know, because Pink Pony Club was just like, I called up my longtime buddy Gerard Vachon, and I was like, "Hey, can we like do just like a silly little thing? Because I that song is so fun." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy a unicorn onesie and just jam out in the park behind my house." And TikTok really liked it, so it was like, "Okay, cool, that's awesome." So it was fun for me.
That's how you came onto my radar because that came up while I was sat there with my 7-year-old daughter and she was like, I scrolled and she was just like, Daddy, what's that? I was like, she's playing Pink Pony Club in a pink unicorn one. She's like, we're watching that. Is there more of it? Like, she absolutely loved it. Like,
That's awesome.
so I was like, I had to add that to my playlist just for my daughter alone, let alone for myself. So, you know, it's absolutely phenomenal. But what was it? TikTok just loved it, like you said. Like, it's
Yeah,
mad.
and it was crazy because I do this like very silly series called Misplaced Screams, and
Yes.
I also kind of use that as a platform to like repurpose the covers that I've already done, because there's a lot of people who haven't heard like some of my older stuff. So I was just like, okay, let's just do that where sit in front of a camera all deadpan and then just rip some screams. And I think it's like maybe the shock value, because you don't really know what's going to happen until it happens. And then it's like, oh, well, that's not misplaced at all. It's like it was supposed to be there. But it's kind of been this like weird little series that's happened, but they're fun for me. I just have fun with it.
I fully expected. Is it your dog that you were holding?
Yeah.
Anyone? Yeah,
She
I
she's
fully
like
expect.
sleeping on the couch over there.
Oh, nice, love. Because obviously, when you started to scream, she wasn't there anymore. So I fully expect the dog just to absolutely leap out of your hand. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? But with the entire range that you have, all the screaming, the singing, the pop, the metalcore, everything, how do you look after your vocals?
I think I've just learned to like know my voice inside and out and know exactly like when it's time to give it a rest, because that's really important. Like recovery time, just vocally is super important, and not straining myself or overexerting. And that's something I learned the hard way when I was younger, coming up. Just being able to pace myself and also like managing burnout as well. Like, because we get caught up in this, like, I gotta post this thing and I gotta do this. But I try and like balance my time with like non-vocal things that will still keep me busy and fulfilled so that I can keep doing the things that I love. So rest and sleep, super important.
Oh, ideal. Especially the latter part. Sleeping sounds wonderful.
Yes, sleep is awesome.
But when it comes to your songwriting, as far as your lyrics are concerned, where do you get the inspiration for your lyrics? Is it fantasy? Is it real life? Like, where do these ideas come from?
I think for so long, like being in Red Handed, like I used to write very conceptually with like a full story in mind, and writing from different perspectives. Like we have like Wanderer and Redeemer, our full concept EP, full concept album of like the story of an anti-hero, like kind of like a Kratos from God of War story arc. Because I love video games, and I think like there's a lot of stories to be told from like these big video games. So I used to write from those like perspectives, but I think the my best work always comes from just like personal experience, personal feelings and emotions, and um over time like I wanted to be as vulnerable as I could in the songwriting, and I think that's been very fulfilling, and people have really connected to it in a way that I haven't really felt before. So personal experience is always like the most honest.
With the solo stuff, obviously not with Red Handed. No, are you writing the music as well, or is this have you got people helping you with that side of it?
It's I have like my team, so Lee Albrecht, he worked with me on so many covers, and it's usually just like me and Lee, or me and Adam Bentley sitting in a room, and they're amazing guitarists, which I am not. So I sit there with like a guitar, and I play bar chords, and I'm just like, "Hey, this progression is cool. Can you like riffify it, or like make it like not bad?" So I'll like be sitting there, or like I'll have this idea like, "Hey, let's do this like kind of like breakbeat with held out notes," which became Sanctuary's chorus. And I have ideas, I just never can physically execute it, which is why like I'll always need like a sick guitarist to be in the room with me, because I can't play that shit. So I'm just like, but I have the idea. It's like, let's make this sound like, Linkin Park, but like gentified, and like make that into a riff, and then they'll just start noodling, and I'm like, "Ooh, I like that." And then we'll just like keep building on things like that. So I have like these ideas, and then I have a sick guitarist that can actually like put it on record kind of thing.
And just very, very quickly, I just want to jump back. You said you love video games, and you mentioned God of War and Kratos, which is one of my favorite games of all
Yes, the
time.
best.
And
The absolute
it's
best.
unbelievable. The stories have been insane.
All
With
of it.
video games, do you smash it in one go, or do you like to play it in parts so you can like savor it? It's like I'll enjoy that again a bit later.
Like I said, I hyperfixate. So if I find a game that I am obsessed with, I just obsess over it. So
Smash
games
it out
like
in one go.
Red Dead Redemption, like I'm
Red
gonna
Redemption.
play that. Red Dead Redemption.
Every
Red
game.
Dead, Red Dead Redemption, like I'm gonna play that like all the way through and do the thing, and then absolutely play it until I at nauseum, and then
Okay.
I will probably never pick it up again until like years later. Because if I stop playing a game, I will not pick it back up. Like I have to do it
Ah.
and just go. And then when you're done, it's like, well, my life's over.
Yeah.
Like like when like God of War, not Ragnarok, but like the first like new
Oh,
one.
Oh my
When
god.
that was done, I like put the controller down and I was like, well, I don't know what to do with my life anymore. Like it's over. So yeah, like some games are just like that profound for me where I'm just like, okay, it's over. Everything's over now.
Yeah, that's it. There's no
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
I tend to play them in blocks. I'm like, oh no, I've done 2 chapters. I think I'll save that now for later. Then you sit there and go, might as well pick it back up again. It's
Yeah.
yeah. Like Last of Us is another one.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
so good. I haven't played
Oh,
2 yet, which I don't think I'm gonna watch the show because that's coming out. I know I'm
Lauren,
slacking. I know.
Lauren. It's been out for like 5 years.
I have it too. And I
What?
switched to like PC gaming. So
Okay.
I have Last of Us for the PlayStation and I was like I haven't really picked up a console game in a while, so it's there. It's upstairs. I just got to
Yeah.
do the thing.
Yeah, play it. Don't watch the show yet. Play
I
it
know,
first.
I won't.
Yeah, good.
I won't do it.
Okay. Wonderful. Anyway, probably get back to the music, I think.
We could do a whole other episode on like video games. So
Let's do it. I'm down. Sign me up. But your brand new EP came out on Friday.
Yes.
Too Much and Never Enough. How has it been received?
It's been amazing. Like I think just having that come out finally was just I was so nervous all week because I always get so like scared during release weeks because it's like putting your baby out into the world
Yeah.
and then it's no longer yours. Like it takes on a life of its own. So I was super nervous, but when it came out, like everyone's like, Lauren, this is your best work. And that felt very good because it's kind of what I'm going to be doing moving forward. And
Ooh.
it was just kind of affirming like, okay, I'm doing what I should be doing and it's what I want to be doing. So it felt really good to kind of give everyone sort of a sample platter of the things you might see from me moving forward. So it was
Sample
nice.
platter.
It's
I
very-
like that.
Yeah, it's like a sample platter.
What I found great about it though is it was like every track is different.
Yeah.
So Sanctuary was just like, oh, this is beautiful and wonderful. Then as soon as I'm bored kicks, you're like,
Yeah.
fuck me.
Shit.
Like, oh my God. Yeah, unbelievable.
And it's kind of like that's kind of been like the EP is just like a little sort of like example of my whole music career. Like I've done all of it. And it's kind of like I think being able to do so many different genres and different styles but still keep it kind of grounded and focused. It has been sort of the balancing act with this EP. And there have been a few people, it's like, oh, this EP is not focused, it's everywhere. And it's like, well, that's kind of who I am. So, like, if you aren't really on board with that, then too bad. Like, you're not going to get an EP of the same song 4 times kind of thing. Like, and that's never really been my vibe. Like, I don't want things to sound the same and be too focused because then I will get bored. Like I think having 4 songs like I'm bored, I would be bored. So keeping it fresh and always keeping people like on their toes is kind of like who I am as a
Love that.
person and
Yeah,
as an
love that.
artist. So yeah.
Where do you know how to put a cough in? Because I loved that for some reason, don't know why. And the bleh, I love as well. Like, how do you know where to section these in and go? I'm going to put a cough in. Fuck it, put a cough in.
Well, I'm bored. Like, I've never really done a song like that ever, like in any project. So I think with the whole, like, you know, reactor period of time we're in right now, like we have all like this React content coming out that like they're all very obsessed with like, when's the breakdown?
Oh, yeah.
When is it happening? Oh, it's coming. It's coming. So like I'm bored was kind of like a okay. I see what y'all are doing. So I'm bored is like a very self-aware sort of ignorant song where I'm like I will pull all the stops out. It's like everything but the kitchen sink. So I was like we're doing the blat, we're doing the breakdown and then another breakdown, but slower. So it's like
Yeah.
a giant meme. Like, I'm bored is a meme. It's not supposed to be serious. Like, so I was like, we're putting a cough in. It's everything. So it is the too much of the EP. It is the too much part. So it's very self-aware. So I put the cough in the button because that was exactly what I intended, was like, this song has to be just a completely knuckle dragging caveman song. And that's what we tried to do.
Love it.
Yeah.
What's funny is you mentioned like the guys who react to this sort of song. There's one of them I follow on TikTok. His name's Orion Reacts, and when I
Yeah.
heard it, I was like, I bet he fucking loves this song.
Exactly. He's such a great, like, he's a good friend of mine. We're both Canadian. He is from the Toronto area. So I made a video. It's not out yet. It's basically, I asked my friends to watch the video, the music video for I'm Bored, and basically do like a negative reaction to it.
Okay.
So that's not out yet. It's being edited now. So it's like my friends just like kind of playing the gatekeeper of like, this isn't heavy enough. There's not enough
Brilliant.
blaz in it. I can't, like, so it's just like complete satire. And there are a couple like reactors that have already done it and posted their version on YouTube, like a Tori Reacts and Old School Nerd. But yeah, Orion is such a good friend, and he's created like this wonderful community of people that, like, I think he's also lifting up so many like independent bands as well, and he's just done such a good job to like put heavy music back in the spotlight. So
Yeah.
it's almost like I'm Bored was for him, man. Like, it was for him. And people who just appreciate heavy music too, like, because it's fun. It's supposed to be fun and not serious. Like, if you laugh at the cough part, then I've done my job. That's the whole point.
I stank face activated for me.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I was on the bus on the way home from work, and I was like, "Oh, what is this? This is beautiful! Oh, like a gut punch. It was fucking great."
Hell
But
yeah.
where does the name Too Much and Never Enough come from?
I mean, it's my whole career. It's like I've been independent my whole career. I mean, Red Handed signed to an indie label, but for all intents and purposes, it's still independent, and everything has always been self-funded, run and gun. I've booked so many tours myself, like just handling all of it, and saying no to countless parts of the industry that I think are really predatory and have tried to tell me what to do and who to be. And the amount of times that I've been told, like, Lauren, this is too much. You have to dial it back, or this is not enough. You have to be this. And just being here where I am today as still an independent artist, it's like saying no to like so many things that who knows where I would be now. And I know, but I wouldn't be myself. And it's like I can stand here today knowing I put out this EP with like my full authenticity, and I own my music, and I've created this thing organically without like mass amount of money or like, you know, the corporate people behind it. And it's like, I think there's something to be said about being rejected and sort of told these things for a long time. And so it's kind of like a, hey, like, here I am, this is who I am, take it or leave it. And
Yeah.
if it's too much or not enough for you, that's too bad. Like, you can like not listen to it if that's the case. So it's like, it's kind of like, this is me, take it or leave it. Yeah.
Incredible. I feel that this day and age now, it's so, the music world has completely changed. Social media has a massive influence in that sort of thing. Obviously, back then it used to be, you do this, then you go to here, you sign with them, you do this, and then you do this for so many years. Whereas now it's like, independent artists like yourself can go, well, fuck that. What I'm going to do is I'll create my own social media. I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
I don't need your corporate bullshit. I don't need to be told this, that, and the other. I will do it my way.
Exactly.
That's
And
beautiful.
it's like I I don't think like a label is necessarily off the table. I just think if a label is willing to understand like who an artist is and really truly rally around the artist and lift them up with who they are. I think that there's something to be said about that, and I think things are changing a lot. I think labels are finding the value of artists that have done it for so long and have paved their own path. Um, and it is changing, which is super cool to see. So I think it's more just like that rhetoric that like you don't have to sell your soul to rock
Nope.
and roll.
Yeah.
You can find a right team, whether it's in the independent world or even the traditional like industry label world. There is a place that you can be that will allow you to be authentic and truly yourself, but still make a product that is really digestible and really palatable and really professional and polished. There is a place for that, and I think that's kind of my goal is to do that.
It's amazing. I love
Yeah.
the fact that, like you say, because this changes in music, people can go, no, this is me, this is my message, this is
Yeah.
my music, this is who I am. I'm not changing because a record label wants me to. I'm just gonna do it
Yeah.
myself. Like that's fucking
Exactly.
beautiful.
Yeah, and I've been told in like many a comments, it's like, Lauren, why aren't you on these festivals? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you big? Whatever. And it's like there are maybe it's just the way it goes, and it's when you're an independent artist, like you have an uphill battle. You immediately have an uphill battle. So it's like life on hard mode, and I won't settle for anything because there are so many times when I could have done that. And sure, maybe I'd play download. Maybe I would be playing like, Rock and Ring or whatever, but at what cost?
Yeah.
At what cost? And so I wouldn't have it any other way because at the end of the day, the things that I've done are 100% mine, and
Amazing.
I will never lose sleep over anything.
It's like you're in your own video game as the goddess of war.
Yes.
I mean, fighting your own battles.
Love it. Exactly. And I think like there is just like there is a level of satisfaction to know that like everything that I've built has been with just like my friends and my team and the people who I trust and like really, really good people. And I think there's something beautiful about that. Yeah.
I'm just looking through some of your videos. The comment section, people fucking love what you do, but also a lot of people think you should have joined Linkin Park. I saw that comment so many
Yeah.
times.
It's crazy. And that whole thing is just so complicated. And
Oh no.
I as like flattering as that idea is, I think like one thing that I was super disappointed in seeing was how the compliments were like to bring me up, someone had to tear another woman down, and
Yeah.
I think that's just the girlies are taking over metal. We know that, like we are, which is
yeah.
Go on.
sick. Finally, like,
Love
and
it.
I think Tatiana from Ginger, Courtney from Spirit Box, they've been such an incredible. They've been spearheading this like, hey, we're here and we're here to stay. And but I think like there's still a long way to go with the whole comparing thing and oh,
Yeah.
but she can do that and like she's better at that. It's like no, like we're together and like that never happens amongst us. Like
No.
the whole comparison thing and you got to tear down another woman to lift one up. Like I think I was a little disappointed in seeing that, regardless of how controversial the whole Emily thing is. Like that is besides the point. But I don't think any person filling Chester Bennington's shoes would have. I think the
Nah.
fans are relentless. Like who they would have hated me too. They
Yeah,
they
yeah,
would
yeah.
have they would have shit on me too if I was the new singer. So like I don't think any person filling that shoe would have had an easy time.
No, it's exactly what I said. I was like, no matter who they picked,
No.
they would have had a hard time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
obviously, we mentioned earlier to like your cover songs that you do and stuff like that. What made you want to actually release your own new material as a solo artist in the first place?
I mean, like I said before, just like a lot of coming to terms with um where things were going and just the whole pandemic thing and accepting that piece of me. But also doing covers for so long, um everyone's like, "Lauren, why aren't you making your own music?" And I'm just like, "Oh, cuz I don't think like people are going to really care about it. People know me as like the cover person or like whatever." And I realized how many even fans were just like, you need your own songs like right now. So you can come and play the shows and do the tours and do the festivals. And that was a whole separate acceptance piece of like, okay, so I can be like an original artist too. Like there's space for that. And times are times have changed again. Like we can have so many different outlets and there was just this stigma for so long of like, well, if you did covers, you're like not legitimate or like you're
Yeah.
not a real musician. And so I
Oh,
grappled with that, which is why Red Handed like didn't do covers because it was like, well, if I'm going to be the cover lady, then the band's going to be the real band. And then people are like, well, Lauren, you're doing this full like do the thing. Do the thing and now I'm doing the thing. So uh, I am pivoting to original music finally. Not to say I'll never release another cover, but I've kind of found the flow, and I'm just like now I'm just like yeah, let's do it. I'm like so in it now.
how do you even pick what to cover? Like, how do you even pick? Because the covers are so different. And before you answer that question, your cover of Chandelier by Sia. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Like, wow, is all I can say to that. I sent it to my family, my girlfriend. I sent it to as many people as I could send it to. I went, you need to listen to this.
I think it's like I will never do anything unless I love it. So
Mm.
that translates to like, oh, how do you figure out what song to do? It's like I have to love the song and be obsessed with the song because I know I'm gonna do a good job if like I'm in it 100%. And I listen to like now almost primarily like pop music and music from like the 2010s and the 2000s and the 90s. So like there are just there's this whole list of songs that I'm like obsessed with and Sia is just she has so many incredible songs and
Yeah.
um like Britney Spears like Toxic's one of my favorite pop songs. I think it's one of the best of all time and it's just like making sure I love it and that's really it. And I know if I do something like if I feature on something that I didn't it didn't come from my brain. I know that like there's that little extra 5% that would have been there if like I was obsessed with it.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of how I lead with like my song choices. It's just like I need to be obsessed with it and I need to love it.
Because I was talking to my girlfriend's best friend. She is a massive Nine Inch Nails fan.
Yeah.
And obviously you did the closer cover
Yeah.
with Halocene.
Holocene, yeah.
Halocene. I can never say that name. Basically, she just wanted me to tell that she absolutely loved that song and sent it to me, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is also fucking incredible." But how do you approach collabs with cover songs?
Um, it's kind of like if the stars aligned, like Holocene, I've done so many collabs with them because they've made it super easy. Like they kind of have a tight ship over there. Like they have their very well-oiled machine. So the collabs with them have been super easy because they kind of spearhead each project and they just toss stuff my way. Hey, you want to do this? Cool, let's do it. And then any other collab, it's kind of like if the timing is right and I have to make sure I like it, of course.
Yeah.
And making sure that everyone is feeling good about it and maybe it's a timing thing and also you have to make sure that you're vibing with the people you work with as well. Like nothing worse than working with like people who don't have your best interests in mind or like want to
Yeah.
fuck you over or whatever. So, um yeah, I guess collabs are kind of like how they like take them as they come and making sure that everything's kosher and And yeah, that's really it.
You mentioned there that you're thoroughly on this solo track now. Does that mean there is an album or more EPs on the way?
Oh, I have an album's worth of songs like in the works right now. Like
Oh,
I
yes.
had this realization literally last night. Like I've been writing a lot with like a lot of different writers now. Like I had a session with like Skylar Accord from Issues, who randomly like Morgoth was also there, who's he's the guitarist of his new band with Shavo from System of a Down. So like this writing journey that I've been on, just trying to write with different people and as many people as possible. Like I worked with Alex Pearson from Hands Like Houses in
Oh,
January. Yeah, and a couple days ago I was in a writing session with Keith from Breaking Benjamin. So it's like I'm just trying to write with as many people as possible, and it's been super random. Like I didn't know Keith was gonna be there because I was gonna be in a room with like I did put two and two together. I was like, I'm working with Keith, cool. But then I get there and I was like, oh, this Keith. Okay, fuck. So it was just kind of that. So it's just been this writing journey. And I realized that I have like 15 and more coming viable ideas that I didn't think I was gonna do an album next, but maybe an album's coming next. Um, and like I always put the cart before the horse. Like my EP barely is out, and I'm already planning like 2 releases at a time. This is how my brain works. But like I had a pop EP come out in 2020 that was like not really promoted at all, which was original music, and um, I really want to recreate those songs into metal songs so I can play those live. So I'm gonna cover my own songs. So it's gonna be like a meta, like super meta. So I think that's probably the next thing that's gonna come out is like a double EP of like my old pop EP and then the metal reimagined counterparts to that. So that
That's awesome.
when I play live, it'll make sense in a set. So I'm working with Adam Bentley on that literally next week. So we're gonna start that. And then there's like 15 other things that will probably eventually become an album. So it's happening. Like we're getting in the rooms, and I think the pop into metal things will probably come out summertime, like as early as summertime.
Incredible.
isn't like covering yourself, like opening another dimension somewhere else, and it's like breaking time and space. And
Yeah, it's like a full circle moment of like, okay, so we're doing originals, but like I'm gonna cover my own originals. Like whoa, like
what
that's
is going
crazy.
on?
So, because I like there was like when that EP came out, Silence is the Only Sound, there was a certain niche, like certain pocket of my fans that really loved that EP, but I don't think um it was quite I think people slept on it. I'm gonna be honest. Like I think it really wasn't showcased very well. Um because I put it out at a time when I was on like this big upwards trajectory, so maybe it was like a little before that time. So I think it'll give it like a nice breath of fresh air and people will be like, "Hey, you did this already." So to kind of give those pop versions a little bit of a bump and allow like a lot of the new fans that have come on board to see that um and hear those songs so that they can get really their time with people. It'll feel really nice for me because like I think people slept on them a little bit.
You mentioned a minute ago about like creating a set list and stuff like that. I couldn't find any tour dates anywhere, but is there shows planned?
Yeah, so there's gonna be probably some trial shows so that I can shake the cobwebs off. Um, I'm hoping some select cities in the fall, in the US, hopefully like September, October, so that I can have that time to like build the live show, build the set, kind of decide like which covers I'm gonna play, which originals I'm gonna play, and find a band or artist to do these shows with, probably do like a little co-headliner or something, and then just be like, hey, these are my first headline shows. This is super exciting, and then test those waters, make them really punk rock, small cap, super like, let's just rip a gig in a couple cities, and then solidify a booking agent in that time and do the thing, and then go hopefully get some support tours and be able to take this thing across the pond, you know?
Yes. Come see
'Cause
us.
I was over because I was over in the UK like November 2023, but like that was kind of like a super show with Halocene, and I was more like a guest on that tour. It didn't really feel like I wasn't really the one putting it together, and it was kind of like a super show where we were all trading off. So I haven't really had the live shows yet like as a solo artist to be able to be like, this is my show, and like
Yeah.
I built this show. So I think those 4 tours I did with Halocene were really like really good for me and good practice for this, but they weren't really like a representation of like what I'm looking to do, and it wasn't like my like I built this and this is my set kind of thing. So I'm really excited to like bring that to the live stage finally, and I'm building the in-ear rig like pretty soon, so it's coming together.
Can't wait. We've spent plenty of time talking about your solo stuff, but you have said Red Hand in Denial are still a thing. What's the future looking like for the band? Is there anything in the plans?
Not right now. I think because of just like the nature of what's been happening internally. Like Chris is full time with production now, and Dom and Tyson have kind of found things outside of music that they're doing full time now. We're probably like we are slowing down, and I don't think that's really any secret. I think people have kind of just seen that. So we're kind of just going to make music when we feel like and when the timing is right. I don't think we're going to be like actively doing that moving forward, but if the timing's right and like everyone's like feeling the itch, like we'll definitely do it. But we're in no way like broken up or whatever. Like it's just or like gonna announce some like dramatic like we're going on hiatus or whatever. Like I think it's more, life happens, and maybe the band's not like actively touring anymore, but new music is never off the table kind of thing.
Right. So before we do start to wrap this up, we should mention you offer vocal lessons as well. You mentioned earlier you're a teacher.
Yeah.
What can future budding vocalists expect from a Lauren Babic singing lessons?
Yeah, so I used to do like one-on-ones. I used to run them from my Patreon, and I haven't done that in a really long time because things got busy, and I started doing like more recording and all that. So I had the opportunity to make like a full vocal course with Chris Lipe, who's like a really awesome vocal coach. You've probably seen some of his videos like with vocal analysis, and he's had vocal courses with like Spencer Sotelo from Periphery, and he did a one with Will Ramos as well. And he collabed with like the charismatic voice, and the whole like camera down Will's throat thing like that. Like Chris was involved with that. So we built a vocal course centered around like me and my voice. So it was kind of a place to send people so that they could get like just like a set curriculum of my teaching style. And I'm actually getting back into the one-on-one and private lessons very slowly because I want to make sure I'm not beyond my bandwidth. But yeah, it's pretty much very much like a feel, like how do we feel? It's a very like feels approach. I'm never gonna come at you with like a very rigid like warm-up regimen with like scales and stuff. It's very much like listening to your body and like very explorative vocal lesson style. And it's like a mini therapy session too, because like being a vocalist, you have to like talk your feelings out a lot because a lot of it has to do with how things work is how you feel. So it's a very like emotional and feels approach, and it's connected with a lot of people, like the feedback that we've gotten from the chorus.
It's interesting. It makes complete
Yeah.
sense, but I've never heard anyone say that before. Like,
Yeah.
you have to deal with your emotions in order just to be able to sing. Yeah. Never put it together
Yeah.
before.
If you're anxious, then you're not going to sing. You're not going to sing as well because you're not going to be relaxed.
Teaching me things, I like it.
Yeah.
But what I like to ask, like as we start drawing this thing to a close, is people are listening to this and they're like, I like the cut of this girl's jib. I've never listened to her music before, but I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna go check out some stuff. What's like, say, three songs from your back catalogue you'd recommend people to check out to get a feel for what you do?
Like the starter pack.
Yeah.
Like the Lauren Babic
Yeah.
starter pack.
The sample
mean,
platter per se.
Honestly, and I hate honestly the EP. Like
Yeah.
like that is the perfect starter pack. And that was kind of the like intention. But obviously there are no covers on there, so like I would obviously throw in like I think Toxic is a good example because it's like a crash course on like what my voice can do all in one song. And also I mean I would throw in my band like a couple band songs too. Like I think Father Said from Red Handed Denial is just like in my opinion one of my favorite songs I've ever written, and Crazy 88 stuff too. I would also put like Nitroglycerin by Crazy 88. I think that's just like a really good like summary of who I am and what I've done. So the EP and those two songs for my bands I think are a really good place to start. And Toxic is good.
Phenomenal. Mr. Stevens, do you have any more questions for our wonderful guest?
I do, Lauren. Before we let you go, one last question from myself. When you first started this crazy journey of music, getting into bands, COVID coming and fucking everything up and changing everything for you, your YouTube and your TikTok exploding, did you ever think this is where you'd be today?
No. Oh, there's my dog. You can see her.
Yeah.
No, I never thought. Like I said, like I've gone into this with expectations low, and just like enjoying every moment and just being happy to be here, because it's kept me grounded in a way. And because this can be a very like scary industry, a very scary place, and you can spiral mentally at any time, and just trying to keep my head on my shoulders, and I'm just happy to be here. That's really it. Like that's it. And every single day I always tell myself like tomorrow I could wake up and not have this. So I just have to appreciate every moment, and it's very easy to start comparing yourself to everyone else. Like I should be here and I should be doing that. And it's like
Yeah.
that's not healthy. It's never anything good comes out of that. So I just appreciate everyone who's ever like given me the time, because time is precious. So I'm just grateful.
Absolutely. And I'm so excited to see where you go on your journey next. You know, I'm so excited to see what's next for you, what's going to happen in the future. Bigger and better things, I feel. I can smell it in the air.
I hope so. I hope that I'm going to see like how far I could take this, and I feel like this is like just the beginning of what I can do and what I can showcase. So I'm excited.
Like Tom said, I can sense big things because the talent is there. The EP is fucking fantastic.
Thank you.
It really is so good. So I wish you all the best because, yeah, like I said, I'm going to be flying the flag of Lauren Babic for quite a while. I can assure you that one.
Let's go.
But Lauren, before we let go, plug social medias, websites. Where can people find you out in the world?
Just my name, Lauren Babic. Pretty much like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, all the big places that you would normally find anybody. Or email. You can email me as well if you really still do that. And my website, laurenbabic.ca. I do like a little newsletter because I think that's been fun for me. So you could join like my little newsletter. And my vocal course called Release Your Inner Monster. So
Good name.
yeah,
Good name.
those places.
Incredible. This has been so much fun. Thank you so much, Lauren. Really appreciate you taking the time out to talk with us today.
Thank you guys. This has been super cool to talk to you.
Oh.
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate that.
Lauren, absolute legend. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. Pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
Take care of yourself. See you later.
Thank you so much, Lauren.
Bye.